Can you tell us about your elevatED training program?
Yeah, so elevatED is a teacher training program, and I am really passionate about the role of teaching. And I think being a teacher is a really, really important job, and you have to work at it and you have to practice it, just like you practice, getting stronger or your pole dance routine. Practicing teaching is a thing. And when you do that, you just become better. You become a better teacher, motivator, giver, leader. So elevatED is teacher training program, and it's either 2.5 or 3 days of intensive training. And of course, it's like techniques and how to teach this move and how to spot this move and how to make this move harder, how to make it easier for different types of people. But it's also spending time with you as an instructor and what makes you different from that instructor and me and that person, and try to find your strengths and what you can bring to your classroom to make that 90 minutes or 75 minutes like the best experience of your students' week, because I think it's a really powerful thing to be any kind of teacher, but especially pole dancing, because it's so different. It's not like going to the gym and taking spinning or yoga. It's like it can really change people's lives, and we see it all the time, like how transformative it can be for people in so many positive ways. So you have to, take it seriously, and I don't know, just like work on yourself as a teacher. And I don't know. I'm really passionate about teaching, and that's what we brought into elevatED. I co-own it with Kira and Marlo, and we all feel the same way about teaching. And so we developed elevatED to be a really like comprehensive teacher training program that's not just about techniques and moves and spotting and anatomy and stuff like that, but, the archetypal role of teacher and how you can be the best teacher. So yeah, that's elevatED.
Yeah, I've asked around about teacher trainings and stuff like that, and elevatED has come up every time as being like the best program out there. So you should be very proud.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
and just anyone listening, if you're a teacher or interested in becoming a teacher, it's something to definitely look into. Yeah, come on, Michelle. And so it's something that you have to do in person, and so you travel around. Is it international?
Mm-hmm.
Is it just
Yep.
in the U.S.? It's international. Okay.
Yeah, it's all over. The next training I think I have booked is in Hawaii.
Oh, convenient.
Yeah, I know. And I think it's in May. So if you wanted to go to Hawaii and you want to go see some waterfalls and hiking and beaches and also get elevated, let's do it.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, that's what I feel like with so I am liquid motion certified, and I picked Portland because I was like, I've
Yeah.
never been to Portland, and then I just met up with my homegirl Sydney, and we like made a week of it,
The
and
best.
so
Yeah.
something. And then you get all of this training out of it too, which is really
Perfect.
really helpful. So what can you give us like one thing that you think is important for like a highly effective teacher to consider? One little tip or snippet or something that you would want to pass on to any teachers listening that we can maybe implement in our classes just to make us a tad better.
I think just something that's like kind of really applicable, and anyone can do this. I would say practice your warm up. Actually get into a studio and get your playlist together, get your moves together, and do the warm up. And then after the warm up, do you feel warm?
Okay.
Like
That's good advice.
is your body ready to go, or do you still feel like your wrists are stiff or your hamstrings aren't warmed up enough? And then kind of reevaluate your warm up, because I feel like in the teacher trainings, that is the one thing people ask about the most and have the most trouble with, is how to put together a good warm up. And a lot of people don't understand the difference between muscle activation and creating heat in the muscles and stretching a muscle. And then, we all know that can lead to, injuries and stuff.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of questions about how to put together a warm-up. And I say this all the time, like, just practice it. Bring your video camera, videotape yourself doing it. Bring a bunch of friends and just have them do your warm-up, get feedback on it. Make sure your music is working for you, not against you. Like if you're using the beat, make sure the beat's not too fast. I feel like we've all done that sometimes. We like want to do like inhale, exhale, and all of a sudden the song's like inhale, exhale, or, it just like doesn't work. So like plan and practice your warm up, and then because that's the first thing in your class. And once you like start off on the right note and people are feeling like hype and ready to go, then you've set the the bar high, and just like keep going up from there. So yeah, practice your warm up.
And do you keep the same warm up for a while, as opposed to like switching it every class, or do you have specific warm ups for specific classes, or?
Depending on the class I'm teaching, I'll change the warm up, just for the vibe of the class, or also like the time of day. Like a 10 a.m. warm up might not be the same as like a 6 p.m. warm up. But I do have a like standard repertoire of moves that I feel like are really effective. So I always put them in my warm up, like compound movement that gets like a lot of things going at once. I always try to put them in there. But I'll mix it up. I kind of have like a grab bag of, different techniques that I'll just like throw in. I'll get into like a groove of a warm up that feels good with my music and the moves, and I'll kind of stay with that for a little while, and then I'll get bored of it.
Yeah.
And then I'll start to mix it up, and then go from there.
Yeah, it's super true. When I just started teaching like a month ago, and it was my biggest stress too. I was like, the warm up, do I have to change it every time? And like, is it right? And I did exactly what you said. I set up a camera in my spare bedroom, and I was like running these warm ups just to see like, okay, oh wait, this is a really weird transition from here to here, as opposed to you're writing it out or you're thinking about it in your head, and you're like, well, how are they going to go from here to here? So I'm not saying I'm not even close to mastering it, but
that's awesome that you're doing that though. Like you're actually thinking about the transitions from this exercise to this exercise, and that's really smart. And it teaches fluidity and continuity in your students like right away too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome.